Ever since Riot accidentally spilled the buff juice on Teemo making him a little too buff, I've been wondering if the micro-peen-sized cooldown on his Q could retrieve 100% uptime with something like a full crit Navori build, and the short answer is yes. Credit to Mr. Mengko for proving such, but the problem I faced when building this mole rat like an ADC was dying like an ADC. So after a little flicking of the proverbial build bean and practice tool, I realized that just a vanilla plain Jane on white toast flat ability haste build you can get a blind duration longer than the cooldown anyway. So game 1 today you are gonna see that biz in action, and then I decided to take the build over to the death fetish bride to see how long I can keep someone tied up, and well, the answer was
infinity and beyond.
So please sit back, relax, put your feet up, politely piss on my subscribe button if you enjoy my content, as YouTube has been unsubscribing people like crazy. Then let me know what other champs this giant ability haste build would work on in the comments, and let's get into a way where you can earn dank prizes. You see, the sponsor of today's video is actually sponsoring you, and I am just a paid messenger boy, as you will learn how trying Gemstone Legends can earn you an iPhone 13 Pro, a Samsung Galaxy S21 Plus, or just big boy cash gift cards. So listen up. Gemstone Legends is basically the product of Candy Crush swiping right on World of Warcraft, them going on a date, falling in love, and then participating in a weird turn-based conception which gave birth to this match 3 collect your champs, kill your foes, and defeat bosses extravaganza of a game. It goes deep with a long detailed campaign where you collect items and champions that you'll strategically need to use to defeat big bosses like the dragon. It's the perfect game to progress through during champ selects loading screens, or even during league games if you play Yumi.
Don't tell anyone, but I love her.
We know you love Gemstone Legends. I play under the cryptic alias, Rav, in the game, and by my level you can probably tell I've been grinding, because to be frank I want to toss my hat in the ring during the upcoming in-game competitions where people will be winning brandy spanking new iPhones, Galaxies, and Apple/Android gift cards. You can use my link in the description or scan my QR code to get the game, and then specific contest details are available on their contest website. But if you use my link, not only does it make them think I'm a Chad YouTuber worth sugar daddying more, it also gives you a super duper dopey boy bonus that's worth $50 to give you an edge over others for the competitions. Gemstone Legends Ravi Boy Outie. Welcome back homies. Now I chose to play the little rug rat scout mid because I crave human interaction and wasn't in the mood to film the 7th season of Lost in the top lane island, so I'm against Foxy Mama, who I know can charm me, but like a young juicy J I just can't say no to ratchet pussy, so I infatuate for a sec before denying the return trip of her yo-yo Snowball the luxury of slapping my ass before spitting twice more in her anime looking mouth for the kill. Then it was time to head south, as Thor's pet polar bear and that charming lady were headed down for a non-consensual double date with that tiptoeing psychopath and his cat. So we say, surprise bitches, hope you don't mind if we tag along. And well, that date didn't last too long. But before heading back home I saw a juicy bushel of bad behavior just begging me to make my screen blue, waiting for that pink-tailed gazelle to come tentatively, and knowing a knee-nibbling perv is about to pop out and demand an ass grab, only for freaking Yumi to oh so generously swoop in to contribute by stealing my kill. Naturally this warrants a request to report her. Thank the Lord the tribunal is gone, because that one would have been unanimous, only for her to respond in the most stereotypical e-girl kitty shit way I've ever seen. Jin then realizes that he will likely be in a YouTube video, so he shoots his shot at stand-up comedy, making me think he alt F4'd his way out of every single grammar class in his life. But my eye is focused in on the prize being this bush that I just yesterday jerked myself off in. So while my bot is promoting their softcore porn sites and bashing third world countries' economic policy, I'm over here causing the most chaos by a midget since Wee Man was cast in the Jackass series, which lands Jana in jail, and me thinking it's time to reset and defend and go overstay for another minute, thinking we can kill that Gale girl again. Granted, Jin doesn't have the accuracy of a schizophrenic Saint Bernard. That said, I loitered my little galapagoting gooch flaps in the area until the top-hatted hottie was inevitably one-shot once again, so I ran and spit some toxic shit in her face, and then you don't need to see this, said whiff his entire combo to know that he did. Luckily, because I am hell-bent on being stuck in this piss-pity low for eternity, the enemy Ari appropriately has the map awareness of a burnt waffle, so we rush in and chase the Ariana Grande pink-ass tail through the forest until my semen-mixed saliva sends her home. And even when I am in the shops, my little deployed mushroom tips are doing work, because when the freaking fox hits one, you know who dies? Kennen does? Then I roam over to the area of a great mushroom murder before snagging my rat ballsack on a bear trap, which unironically then attracts a bear, but that furry ball of Zeus pube hairs barely touches me because he is one blind Betty in the ring against this rabbit Mewa. Haha, laugh with me, Teemo. At this point the e-girl has dedicated me as her host to AFK on, which is chill because when we see the scantily clad sheriff I am all for rubbing those fuzzy cuffs on my own fuzz, but the tornado whisper goes full Katniss Everdeen volunteering as tribute to be the dead bitch instead, and hell I don't discriminate. Please see the following play entitled, Rav's a Chad, and this was clean AF. For starters, the fox hungry hippo's another one of my mushrooms, which long story short earns her a spit shafter, but then when my team is inevitably still throwing the next big fight I join in to first remove the distractions, and then I set up the play of my life. A freckled fuckboy gets birthed, I buy a dank yellow camera and slip it over the wall, then I give the tantrum tomato a happy ending to alley-oop the hoe into my teeny weeny wingman. Bam, I just 9000 IQ'd this biz like a pro. Then it's worth noting I was going to tit-tap the Janna for the unofficial montage quadra, but when I said Quadragen's ears popped up he got all excited and stole my thunder. Speaking of thunder, their furry Zeus deuce of a jungler is off Pac-Manning all the fungus I have in the bushes, which seemingly triggers him into doing a big boy bounce on my head, but I kill him and then politely decline the second offer for me to be electrocuted, opting instead to attack the Jamie Tart mall cop and let her know that her only options are blind and base, and for the record she always chose blind first and then eventually always settled on base. So at this point I have full build, meaning 3 seconds blind on an ability that has a 2.8 seconds cooldown, and while Riot declined to comment for my documentary I think they would have said working as intended, but in case it wasn't we can just use this B-roll of Volibear going 0 for Sunday on his auto attacks and then me celebrating by ejaculating a river of bouncy bombs in their base while our minions end the game. So I confirmed this works on the little bunny and deemed it time to try on Morgana. Now I chose to go bot with my mini fairy godmother this round because I'm a masochist and like pain, but likely the titty licker tabby was one of those backseaters telling me I never proc Yumi passive during fights when I play her, so please refer to Exhibit A entitled This Is What Happens You Morons, as proof that my wiggy gets big and stiff when I see a stray cat just begging to eat 16 stuns before being slaughtered when I see her proccing her passive. And it's worth noting that Jennifer Lopez over here turned into a black tabby himself before he could forgasm, and it's like a blue balled OCD trap for the race of humanity who plays that champ, so he sticks around too long without his heel queefing kitty in the area, so I lock him up, step into the shrubs to squeeze out a quick fart and then come back to finish the job. Then Deadpool is in the area, so we first scan for a Wi-Fi network so that I can post a selfie with him to my OnlyFans hashtag. I slipped a nipple on purpose, but then we went in to film a scene for 50 Shades of Purple as we tied them both up, gave them herpes, and then took my victory walk in a way that showed my disrespectful carelessness by just now wrapping myself in a Trojan ecstasy rubber. I then inquire about the status of Jin's summoner spells because I have big plans in the form of my own flash into administering like 6 cc's of, well, CC, so despite my second Q getting a bit scared and running off like a pussy, we still gave Gale Force Gary an anaphylactic ass kicking. And it's worth noting that when I have 2 wards role-playing testicles by sitting comfortably in my sack with less vision than Rosie O'Donnell and a supersized centaur comes in for scraps, we have the means to make him sit there and ponder his life's decisions. Now to address the elephant in the room, I go Everfrost instead of Liandry's on Morg as it gives me slightly less CDR but another stun, so to the kids in the comments thinking they are Sherlock Holmes, this was intentional because when we are doing things like having a team building anti-tower protest up north, I can tie up any horse patrol, then freeze their tits till they die, and then immediately after ask the boss to sit his ass down for a few more seconds. Side note, their Jin was the chromosome deficient one of my team from last game, which explains the absolutely abysmal accuracy. Then Icy Ivy glaciarizes David Blaine, I lag hard, we still kill the counter, and then the Yumi gets euthanized. And while the centaur was quite sus, their Scion took the cake for missing the most brain cells in this one, as I couldn't help but to laugh when looking at him, and thanks to all the seemingly voluntary donations to the Make a Fed Rat Foundation I had enough items to CC bot the bitches in style for the rest of the game. Like this Jin who is in desperate need of a big vitamin IQ dose, or this David Blaine fanboy TF who never seemed to pick the card that would make his tricks work, and no one gave a shit about Hecarim's dead Ghost Rider parades. Pair that with the scene from the intro where we kept the large flaming horseman in timeout for the longest CC chain in history, then murdered his insubordinate cat, and all we had to do was kill the inting overweight car mechanic once more to prove once again that more CC equals more GG, and a GG it was indeed. Don't forget to check the description to download Gemstone Legends so one of you can win an iPhone 13 Pro, a Samsung Galaxy S21 Plus, or rock hard cash gift cards. Rav out.
Boy, I'm in your crib with the blappy boy, talk to me slick and I'm popping your pappy. If happy talk back, then I'm taking your Grammy, and boy oh boy I'll make her happy. Let's go.